Have you ever been in a room with someone who thought they were better than you? Not because they earned it, not because they showed real strength, but because they talked louder, because they cut you off, because they needed the room to know they were superior, even when they had nothing real to offer. You sit there burning inside, not because you're weak, but because your silence is mistaken for weakness. And every part of you wants to clap back, raise your voice, prove yourself, but that's exactly the trap they want you in. That's their battlefield: noise, ego, chaos. What if I told you that you never have to play that game again? What if you had 5 phrases, simple, calm, unshakable, that shut down arrogance without raising your blood pressure? These aren't just clever lines. They're power, Stoic power. And today, you're going to learn how to use them in your relationships, at work, online, in life. No yelling, no drama, just undeniable control. Number 1, we're not here to compete. We're not here to compete is a phrase that doesn't just change conversations, it changes dynamics permanently. This isn't about shutting someone down with clever words. This is about understanding the deepest motivations. Behind arrogance, dominance, and passive-aggressive power plays. Human beings project their insecurities through superiority. When someone constantly competes with you, corrects you, or condescends you, they aren't revealing truth, they're revealing fear. They're afraid that if they're not better than someone else, they're nothing. That's not your burden to carry. We're not here to compete removes the illusion of a fight. You're not here to play chess with people obsessed with being the king. You're not another piece in their ego game. You're a presence, a grounded force. And when you say it, with calm, grounded confidence, you disrupt the psychological pattern they depend on. People use competition to create chaos. They bait you with comparison. Who's doing better? Who's more attractive? Who's more successful? This plays on one of the deepest vulnerabilities in human psychology, the fear of not being enough. When you react to this, you validate it. When you respond with, "We're not here to compete," you expose it. In relationships, this saves years of emotional exhaustion. When your partner uses status or past mistakes to assert dominance, you remind them you're not here for a trophy. You're here for truth. If truth's not welcome, neither is competition. In family, it stops those who weaponize tradition, roles, and guilt. You break the spell that says you must keep proving your worth to people who haven't even earned the right to speak into your life. And at work, it resets the tone in toxic teams where silence is taken for submission and aggression is rewarded with respect. That ends with you. This phrase teaches emotional minimalism. No over-explaining, no defending, no counterattacks. Just a verbal boundary that slices through manipulation without spilling emotion. The more you use it, the more free you feel. Because you're no longer reacting to the circus, you're walking out of the tent. Every time you say, "We're not here to compete," you're reclaiming your energy, protecting your peace, and choosing mastery over madness. Every time you say, "We're not here to compete," you're reclaiming your energy, protecting your peace, and choosing mastery over madness. Every time you say, "We're not here to compete," you're reclaiming your energy, protecting your peace, and choosing mastery over madness. Number 2, that's your opinion. That's your opinion is one of the most powerful shields you will ever hold. Because in a world where everyone's trying to define you, this phrase keeps you defined by you. You'll hear it from all angles. You're wrong. You're too much. You're not enough. You'll never make it. But none of it is law. It's all just noise dressed as certainty. And if you treat it like truth, you hand them your identity. That's your opinion stops that transaction cold. It's not agreement. It's not defiance. It's independence. Most people are terrified of thinking for themselves, so they form their beliefs by tearing yours down. When you say, "That's your opinion," you remind them, and yourself, that you're not here to be molded by projections. Use it when someone tries to invalidate your vision, when they mock your choices, your goals, your values. Use it when judgment is delivered like a verdict. That's your opinion is the verdict on their influence. And it's a sentence of silence. People don't expect peace. They expect pushback. This phrase disarms them because it offers none. And the deeper truth is this: the people who try hardest to define you are the ones most afraid of being undefined. They find comfort in controlling your story because their own story is in pieces. You don't need to correct them. You don't need to convince them. You need to protect your sovereignty. That's your opinion gives you back your mind. Every time you say, "That's your opinion," you're reclaiming your energy, protecting your peace, and choosing mastery over madness. Every time you say, "That's your opinion," you're reclaiming your energy, protecting your peace, and choosing mastery over madness. Every time you say, "That's your opinion," you're reclaiming your energy, protecting your peace, and choosing mastery over madness. Number 3. Let's focus on what matters. Let's focus on what matters is not about ignoring conflict. It's about elevating the conversation beyond chaos. It's about refusing to get caught in the weeds when the whole forest is burning. It's the phrase that calls people back to purpose when they've been hijacked by ego. You've seen it. Arguments start over spilled coffee and end with lifelong resentments. People forget what they're fighting for because they're too obsessed with fighting. Let's focus on what matters is how you redirect attention from wounds to healing. In relationships, this is survival. You're not going to agree on everything, but if you don't agree on what matters, you'll lose each other in the noise. This phrase saves marriages, it saves friendships, it saves business deals, because it asks, is this fight more important than our connection? Is this ego moment worth what we could lose? In family, it keeps holidays from turning into battlefields. In politics, it turns shouting matches into real conversations. In leadership, it separates bosses from people worth following. It forces clarity. It stops emotional bleeding. It puts truth back on the table. Because most people don't want solutions. They want to be heard being right. Let's focus on what matters tells them. You're done competing. You're here to complete something. Every time you say, "Let's focus on what matters," you're reclaiming your energy, protecting your peace, and choosing mastery over madness. Every time you say, "Let's focus on what matters," you're reclaiming your energy, protecting your peace, and choosing mastery over madness. Every time you say, "Let's focus on what matters," you're reclaiming your energy, protecting your peace, and choosing mastery over madness. Number 4. Let's agree to disagree. Let's agree to disagree is not surrender, it's strategy. It's how you stay sane in a world that rewards loudness more than logic. There are people who don't care what's right. They only care about being seen as right. Their self-worth is glued to your agreement. And when you don't give them that agreement, they come unglued. You've seen it. Conversations that become traps. You walk in to express a thought, and suddenly it's a courtroom. You're on trial. Not because you said something wrong, but because you had the nerve to think differently. Let's agree to disagree is your exit key. It's how you walk away with your values intact. It ends debates that were never going to become dialogue. This isn't about apathy. It's about awareness. You're aware that continuing the fight won't build connection, it will destroy it. Say this to the colleague who wants to turn every meeting into a moral war. Say it to the family member who believes blood gives them control over your beliefs. Say it to the friend who thinks their opinions are commandments. You don't owe anyone your mental bandwidth. You owe yourself peace. Let's agree to disagree is a declaration. Your peace matters more than their performance. Your clarity matters more than their chaos. And when you say it with calm, you remind them, and yourself, that you are not theirs to conquer. Every time you say, let's agree to disagree, you're not giving up. You're rising above the noise, choosing your dignity and owning your boundaries. Every time you say, let's agree to disagree, you're not giving up. You're rising above the noise, choosing your dignity and owning your boundaries. Number 5. Your words say more about you. Your words say more about you is emotional warfare in the gentlest form. Because it reflects, it doesn't retaliate. When someone throws verbal poison, most people drink it and throw it back. But not you. You take the cup, examine it and say, this isn't about me. It never was. This phrase turns their attack into their exposure. It leaves them naked because it forces them to hear their own bitterness out loud. People speak from two places, woundedness or wisdom. And when someone mocks, insults or cuts deep, they're waving a flag that screams, I haven't healed. Your words say more about you tells them, I see what you're hiding under your performance, and I'm not giving you the reaction you're hoping for. This works in relationships when someone says something cruel and tries to call it honesty. It works in breakups when someone tries to shame you for walking away. It works with strangers, trolls, even family. Because truth is, the ugliest words usually come from the most insecure mouths. You don't need to match their energy. You need to preserve your own. Your words say more about you is how you stand still while they fall apart. It's how you rise when they expect you to crumble. It's how you flip the script without saying another word. Every time you say, your words say more about you, you're holding up a mirror to their bitterness without letting it break your spirit. Every time you say, your words say more about you, you're holding up a mirror to their bitterness without letting it break your spirit. Most people think power is loud. It's not. Power is being unshakable when the room gets loud. Power is walking away from chaos and keeping your dignity. Power is having the words that disarm arrogance without losing yourself in the process. You've just learned 5 of the most powerful verbal tools a person can carry. Use them wisely. Use them knowing that every time you choose stillness over shouting, you're showing strength the world rarely sees.